He was effervescent, he was humorous. All throughout his life, he was the one that would make everybody laugh.
Is the only person besides me that knows the secret handshake. Watch this.
I thought I had put to rest my son's death 4 years ago. However, I still see young people of all races and colors that are dying from this thing called spice. And that's what killed my son. From a father's perspective, you want to know why. Why did this happen? He said he's going downstairs to study. And we lived in a two-story where the house is up here and the garage was here. And he had obviously purchased this spice. And told me where he purchased it. And he went downstairs and used it. And I heard kind of a horrible sound a human makes. And he's coming up the wooden stairs to the deck, coming in the house. And he was distorted or disoriented. And he was jerking around, and he was like a convulsion. Not making any kind of babbling. And I said, oh, we got to go to the hospital. And I grabbed his hand, or his arm, and we started down the stairs, and he started to fall. And I grabbed him by the belt in the back, and he had his arm around my shoulder. And I'm not that strong after my heart surgery. I, kind of don't have the upper body strength. But I carried him all the way to my van, which was about 50 feet away. And I got all the way to the passenger door. And you've heard of dead weight. That's when I think he lost control, because he went limp. And I couldn't pick him up. He was folded with me having the door open. And I was in a panic, but I was in relatively good control. And as I'm thinking what to do, my daughter drives up. And I yelled for her to come help me. And rather than explain what had happened, she just was quiet, and we got him into the front seat, and I slammed the door, and I got in, and I took off. And she was doing chest compressions. Drove up to the ER, honked the horn, and they came running out when they see that. They were not waiting for me to come in. They came right out. The nurse said, get his wallet and his cell phone and anything you want to, because we're going to cut the pants off. And so I did that, and in there was the Ziploc bag that had spice with a pretty rainbow picture. And I just grabbed it, I put it in my pocket. The doc asked me, had he ingested any needles? I said, no. And does he take drugs? No. And I gave him the bag of spice. And he said, that's probably it. The doctor, about the time, it took about an hour for the doctor actually to come out of the ER suite and tell me that he's in what they call a drug-induced psychosis. He's had a brain hemorrhage, cerebral hemorrhage, brain hemorrhage, and that his organs have failed. And he's on life support. And we sat through the night, and the next day, the doctor came to talk to us and said, nothing's changed. If anything, it is worse condition now than before. That I think the liver had quit, and the kidneys would quit, and I can't remember what else, but there was this recession of his functions. And so his mom and his brother and I spoke for a few moments, and they all defaulted to me to make the decision, and that they would support anything that I wanted to do.
How hard of a decision was that?
It was the hardest decision of my life. I knew, being a faithful person, that I I couldn't do this without the help of God. And I knew that I couldn't do this without Mark's concurrence with what I was going to do. So I believed, and I still believe, that my praying and just talking to Mark as he lay there gave me the courage to, in essence, pull the plug. It hurts to see families being torn apart because of something like this spice. And although we were able to make some good come out of this bad event, it still is, in essence, it never should have happened. There should be a remedy, a way to prevent this from ever happening again.